All right, we are green. Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, our beautiful country, and how we're going to fix both of those things together. And guys, we are constantly charting a path towards freedom. And when we get really great things like I'm about to show you, 27 states telling the SCOTUS to get off their butts and accept assault weapon bans and mag bans and actually do something because it's unconstitutional, we're going to scream it from the rooftops. Everything that I'm about to show you is going to be linked in the description box below. This is dropping as of a few moments ago, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, because YouTube's doing that thing again where they accidentally unsubscribe you and interrupt your prescription of freedom. So don't let them get away with it and abscond with your breaking information. Whatever, that works. I'll see you on every single video if you guys do that, and I appreciate it. All right, video, audio, let's freaking go. Welcome in, everybody. All right. God, you love to see this. So, as we're all filtering in some backstory here, if you guys are not familiar with this, the SCOTUS, the Supreme Court of the United States, has had two cases that have been pending, basically deciding if they're going to hear them or not. There's the Ocean State case, which is the magazine bans, and then there's the Snope case, which is the assault weapons ban. Effectively, they've said 9 different times, we'll talk about that one later. Well, 27 states just decided, y'all taking too long? Get your butts in gear, and they just sent a amicus brief that I'm about to show you directly to the SCOTUS. Guys, this is what I'm talking about. This takes some balls. Check this out. West Virginia Attorney General J.B. McCuskey is leading a coalition of 26 attorneys general asking the U.S. Supreme Court to hear a challenge of Washington, D.C.'s so-called high-capacity magazine and assault weapons ban. Guys, this is what we need. Put more pressure on because they're taking way too freaking long, all right? Let me get into this. I've got the entire thing linked. If you guys are just now tuning in, it's right down there. I always bring receipts. Let me show you the summation, and then I'm going to show you the actual amicus brief itself. Let me zoom in so you guys can see this. Here's the summation. Attorney General McCuskey leads SCOTUS amicus brief challenging D.C.'s high-capacity magazine assault weapons ban. Charleston. West Virginia Attorney General J.B. McCuskey is leading a coalition of 26 attorneys general asking the U.S. Supreme Court to hear a challenge of Washington, D.C.'s high-capacity magazine and assault weapons ban. The brief challenges a lower court's decision that upheld D.C.'s ban on magazines, which hold more than 10 rounds of ammunition. The law prohibits the possession, sale, or transfer of the magazines. D.C.'s law also prohibits residents from keeping and bearing semi-automatic weapons like AR-15 rifles. The coalition argues the lower courts, quote, have continued to use whatever means necessary to uphold laws that have prevented most citizens in those jurisdictions from exercising their right to bear arms. Abso-freaking-lutely correct. 27 states. I'm going to show you which states they are in 1 second. This is what we need, guys. More of this. Quote, until the Supreme Court weighs in, hint, hint, wink, wink, cities will continue passing these far-reaching bans on guns and ammo, knowing that certain lower courts will continue to push the agenda to limit our Second Amendment rights, Attorney General McCuskey said. This must be stopped, and we are asking the Supreme Court to once and for all declare the legality of firearm magazines protected under the Second Amendment. Yes, please. All right. The coalition argues the ban is unconstitutional because the country has no history or tradition of banning arms in common use for lawful purposes. Really important sentence. Bruen decision. Heller decision. Get some. That's what that is right there. That sentence is incredibly important. And now I'm going to show you which states, and then I'll show you the actual brief because there's some really good stuff they put in there. This is not a short brief, and they really tied some stuff together. Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, New Hampshire, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Texas, Utah, Virginia, and Wyoming joined the West Virginia-led brief. That's a lot of states. That is over half of the states in the United States just told the SCOTUS to get off their butts and accept something. Yes, please. All right, and if you guys are just now tuning in, we have 27 states that are basically telling the SCOTUS to get off their butts and do something because they've postponed this decision for about 9 times now. Now let me get you to the actual brief because I actually have to show. I bet it's not Minnesota. Yeah, no kidding. All right, I actually have to change some stuff around, hide that, and here is the brief. I've got a few highlighted points that I want to show you guys. This is some solid stuff. When it's written like this is what I'm talking about. So the first one, this is the question presented. Whether the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution allows a categorical ban on arms that are indisputably common, Heller decision, throughout the United States and overwhelmingly used for lawful purposes and self-defense. So I'm going to go through a few of these. Again, everything's linked. I bring all the receipts every time I do a video, but I've got some highlighted stuff. If you want to read the whole thing, it's right down there. Check this out. Make sure it's focused. All right. Sometimes old habits die hard. For too long, the Second Amendment went dormant, offering only limited rights in a narrow universe of cases in a way inconsistent with history. Bruen decision. But in recent years, the court has recognized again that the amendment is a fundamental pre-existing right that is deeply rooted in the nation's history, text, and tradition. So far, we've got McDonald, we've got Heller, and we've got Bruen. That is like the three horsemen of gun control apocalypse. Okay, let's keep going. Now, constitutional text and history are the pole star for reviewing firearm regulations. This historical inquiry will often require courts to reason by analogy. What it doesn't require is means in scrutiny, which is just window dressing for judicial policy making. Basically, if you're not familiar with what ends mean testing is, it's basically saying the rights of the public and the safety of the public, or perceived safety of the public, trump the Second Amendment. You're balancing interest. That's the idea. Ends mean testing. That's what the whole thing is. While this court has pushed for renewed respect toward the Second Amendment, things have played out differently below. Amici states have seen firsthand how courts across the country have struggled to afford the Second Amendment the respect due to an enumerated constitutional right. Absolutely have. Let's go more of this. And courts upholding local bans on so-called assault weapons and standard capacity magazines, relabeled as large capacity magazines, are especially prone to contorting traditional constitutional principles and subordinating genuine Second Amendment interest. Guys, these people did their due diligence. This is a well-worded brief. Again, it's linked. If you guys are just now tuning in, 27 states tell the SCOTUS to get off their butts and accept these unconstitutional laws so we can basically make them unconstitutional once and for all. All right, but by rewriting Heller's in common use test to add a dangerousness element, lower courts have continued to interest balance under a different name. That's incredibly important. What's happening here is they're telling the SCOTUS, hey, the lower courts are defying you, and they're rewriting judicial precedent by basically calling it something different. What you going to do about it? That's effectively what that means, okay? Now, let's keep going. Like I said, I got a couple more points. This is the summary of the argument. I want to show you this. Heller recognized an individual right to possess and carry arms. Although the right is not unlimited, exceptions must be based on history and tradition. The country has no history and tradition of banning arms in common use for lawful purposes. So the district's ban on +10 magazines is unconstitutional under Heller. So, guys, what's happening right there is the Heller decision and the Bruen decision is coming through, and it's coming through hot. That's what's happening on this. Sorry, I am messing with things on my end. Sorry, not you, it's me. Let me expand that back so we can get you a little bit more. Yeah, it's good enough. All right. Now, furthermore, Heller's in common use test controls, and it shows the district ban is unconstitutional. Listen to this. Heller recognized that courts cannot categorically ban arms that are in common use. To do that, Heller began with a textual analysis focused on the normal and ordinary meaning of the Second Amendment's language. That analysis suggested that the amendment's operative clause, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, guarantees the individual right to possess and carry weapons in case of confrontation. That does not depend on service in a militia. Guys, this is a well-worded brief. This is what I need to see. All right. Bruen and Rahimi are built on Heller's framework. Like I told you, the three horsemen of the gun controller apocalypse. Heller, Bruen, and McDonald. Rahimi is kind of like the sidecar on one of them. Under a straightforward application of Heller, Bruen, and Rahimi, then, the district's ban on magazines holding more than 10 rounds of ammunition is unconstitutional. It is unconstitutional. Yes, absolutely. Let's say that some more. Let me get down to the end here, and this is what you need to see. The conclusion. Let me get this down. Here we go. The conclusion. The court should grant the petition for certiorari. Basically, court, get off your butts and accept these blatantly unconstitutional actions so we can hear them and finish this once and for all. 27 states have a pair of balls enough to send that to the SCOTUS, and honestly, I'm here for it. Make sure you guys send this stuff out. This is the stuff that we need to rally behind, because those 27 attorneys general, that's pretty well done. Congratulations if you're in one of those states, and if not, move to one of those states, because let's just face it, lefty's gonna left. I will see you guys on the next one. I hope you enjoyed the content. Everything will be linked in the description box below. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, and I will see you guys on the next one.